Hey everyone, Erin Bassett here with Brother ScanNCut. This month is all about crafts, and I'm going to show you how to create this piece of home decor using your ScanNCut machine and some vinyl. Okay, so I went ahead and put my paper onto my mat. It doesn't need to be lined up anywhere, just as long as it's within this border, it's fine. And now I'm going to stick my mat all the way in and push the load button. I'm going to go to scan to cut data, and this I can leave in the black and white mode because our paper is black and white, and push start. And once it's scanned it in, it's going to take a few seconds to recognize it, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so we can see here is our scanned piece, and I am going to choose the second option, which will cut around the outside of the letters and also the insides, so like the O's and whatever. So I'll click on that. I like to always crop mine down so it's not as big of a file that it's saving. So once you have it cropped, you can click save, and there's a lot of places to save it. You can save it to your computer or send it over to ScanNCut Canvas or to your USB. In this case, I'm going to save it to my machine. And then now it's in there, so I'll click OK. Okay, then to go into it later, you'll click on Pattern and Save Data. Remember, we saved ours to the machine. It's the last one that we saved. And now we have a problem because it saved each one of those letters as individual pieces. And we want to be able to move the whole thing around in groups. So we're going to need to group some things together. So we'll just click OK first. It puts it on our mat. And now we're going to click on this mat icon. In order to group them, we're going to go to the selection. You can see it's all lit up in red. We'll click that, and then you have two choices: select everything on the mat or select one bit at a time, and we're going to choose that one. And then you switch hands. You can just pull this down to be, whatever areas you want to group together. I'm going to try to save space on my vinyl, so I'm just going to group certain sections together. Click OK. You can see it selected that whole bottom row. OK. And now I'm going to click this group button right here. It's that one with the circle and the triangle. You can see it grouped it together. So now it's one piece. I can move it together. So I think if I take every and family, group those together, scoot them over, I might be able to put that has a story next to it and then move this back up. So that's my plan that I'm going to do. And then if we wanted to double check that this is all lined up correctly, we can always zoom in. So I'm just going to go and move every family down and over a smidge just so it's lined up better with has a story. And when it looks good, I'm going to click OK. And now OK. And OK. So now we can save that now that it's all grouped together if we wanted to, or we can just go ahead and cut. We'll hit cut. We'll unload this and put in our vinyl. Okay, I went ahead and put my vinyl with the vinyl side up, the backing side down onto the mat, and I put it onto my mat, and now I'm just going to insert it, and we're ready to cut. But before we do, I want to make sure my blade is set correctly. So I'm going to do a test cut. You want your blade just barely coming through the tip of the blade holder. To do a test cut, we're going to hit that back button and add. We're going to add a test cut. You can pick whatever shape you want. I tend to do the triangle. And then you'll hit set. And you can see it put it on my mat right above the E at the top, which is kind of inconvenient, so I'm going to take it and drag it down underneath the welcome. So it won't be in my way of my vinyl that I'm doing, and it'll be easy to access. I don't have to worry about it cutting out all my letters yet because it's going to do the test cut first and then pause to let me decide if it cut well. Okay, so now I'm going to check. You know, if I was cutting paper, I would want it to cut all the way through, but for this, I only want it to cut just through the vinyl and not through the backing, so it'll be easier to weed. And so I have my blade set correctly because my backing's still intact, and I'm ready to cut out the whole thing. If you accidentally cut through all the way and you need to make an adjustment, go ahead and do that and hit quit cutting so that you can do another test cut before you begin. Okay, so mine turned out well, so I'm just gonna hit start again. You can see it's all lit up and ready to go. Okay, now it's time to weed out our design, and you're just going to grab the negative part and carefully separate it from the cut letters. And for those tiny little letters, sometimes I find it easier if I'm not working with a big piece of vinyl, and so I'll just cut my piece down to size. But you want to remember to get out the centers of those letters as well, and so take your time doing that to make sure you get them all. Okay, the next step is to take the transfer paper and put it on top of the vinyl. And I love this gridded transfer paper that Brother makes because it makes it really easy to line things up. So to start off with, I'm going to separate these two strips because one is going at the top of my frame and one is going at the bottom. And so then I'm just going to take my strip that I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the bottom one first and put my transfer tape on top of it. And I'm going to line up the letters so that they're on that bottom blue line. And then I just want to make sure that I rub them so that they're firmly affixed to the transfer paper. And then I can start peeling it off and my letters will stick to it. And then once you have it taken off, you'll just go ahead and put it onto your piece of glass exactly where you want it, and then remove the transfer tape slowly. And then you'll just repeat that for the rest of your vinyl until your project's complete. So now that you've seen how to create this piece, you can stop by my blog, erinbassett.com, to enter to win it and a whole bundle of ScanNCut goodies.